Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got them for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
So all year long, we've kind of had in the back of our mind that there may be an outside chance at a point battle for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. Now, I'm not a guy, I don't like points. I don't like talking points until you have to talk points. I mean, there are some people in March are counting points, and I don't like counting points in March. And certainly in the sprint car world, nothing counts before the Knoxville Nationals.
You only have,
But then when you get into it, it's like, but you're sitting there, and we do it in NASCAR all the time, too. You're sitting there in June, it's like, well, if the championship ended, the championship's not going to end now.
That conversation
That drives me
too.
absolutely nuts. I am not, by nature, a big point guy. I get championships matter. But what I love about sprint car racing is the biggest crown is a race.
Yep.
The biggest thing, you can win a World of Outlaw championship or you can win the Knoxville National. You can't win both. What are you winning? You're winning the Knoxville Nationals every damn time.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I love about sprint car racing is that the race still is most important, okay? But the Nationals is over.
Yeah.
It's done. Gravel's got that money spent. He's bought another muscle car or something. He's down there drag racing in Florida when he's
got
not
a big
racing.
wedding to be awarded.
He's got a big, that's right. He's got a big wedding, Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, he's going to need to win another national or two if he's going to be married. That's no offense to marriage. I mean, marriage is a wonderful institution if you choose to live in an institution all your life. But, I mean, Gravel needs to get, he needs to make sure.
What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that.
Where are you going with this?
I've been there, done that, bought the T-shirt, bought the house, bought this, bought that, bought everything else, and still buying a lot of it. So, yes, and I've not won a Knoxville Nationals either.
Oh,
How did we end up here?
Seriously.
Okay, yes, exactly. So, yes. So we have a point battle coming into the World Finals.
A close point battle.
A close point battle with Sweet and Shots by 8 points.
Whew.
Batten down the hatches. This is going to be good.
I love it.
It is so good. It really is. And I'm trying and I've shared with everybody one of the frustrations I have is my perspective of sprint car racing goes back a whopping 10 years. Okay. But now we've got a guy coming up that has a better perspective on sprint car racing in this point battle. He's been in some of them.
Yep.
Okay. And so we're going to talk to Brad Doty. And I love when we get a chance to talk to Brad about the point battle, but really it's a good chance to recap kind of the season and what he saw. So Brad, Sprint Car Midget Magazine, 2001 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. He's going to join us in just a moment. Before we get to that, though, let's take a listen to this one. It was Friday night. It was at Texas Motor Speedway, Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. Tony Stewart, Erin Reitzel, and Terry McCarl just throwing absolute haymakers at each other. Brian Hulbert with the call. Racing Boys with the pay-per-view. It is our Dryden Diesel all-death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Battling at the front of the field, second, third, and fourth, all up for grabs right now. Stewart, McCarl, and Reitzel all duking it out. Stewart gets by both of them through turns 1 and 2. They both come back after him in turns 3 and 4. Stewart reports to the outside. McCarl down to the bottom. Reitzel's going to look lower than him, nearly 3 wide to the front straightaway. Stewart's going to hold on to it.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
O'Reilly. This is Jesse's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
As a nurse, not making it to work was not an option. But driving through the snow with my wiper blades struggling, I just didn't feel safe. So I pulled into O'Reilly Auto Parts, and before I knew it, an employee was offering to install the wiper blades on my car. I got to stay out of the snow for a moment, and I still made it to work on time.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Instilled with Dryden's heritage of performance, Dryden Diesel All Death is built for the demands of today's diesel engines. Dryden Diesel All DEF is perfect for owners and operators of on-road and off-road diesel trucks and cars that now require diesel exhaust fluid. Dryden, official motor oil and official diesel exhaust fluid of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. And as always, American-owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Are you a serious diecast collector? Do you have a favorite driver? Are you looking for a gift for a race fan? No matter what the question, the answer is always PlanBSales.com. Plan B has all the latest in diecast from Lionel and apparel, artwork, and other items for your favorite driver in NASCAR or other forms of racing. Go to PlanBSales.com. Key your driver's name in the search window and look at all the options. Your one stop for diecast and other motorsports collectibles is PlanBSales.com.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
This is the Wing Nation Podcast. Back to Steve Post and Erin Evernham.
We are having a ball, and we're glad you joined us here. Wing Nation talking sprint car racing, and who better to talk with? Class of 2001 National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, promoter of the Brad Doty Classic, Sprint Car Midget Magazine writer, columnist, television broadcaster, and all-around good guy for the sport. Brad Doty's on the line. Hello, Brad. Welcome back to Wing Nation.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Well, it is great to chat with you. Brad, I think, and this is not what Donnie Schatz wants to hear. Donnie Schatz never wants to see a point battle in his life, but boy, we've got a point battle for the World of Outlaws with Brad Sweet and Donnie Schatz, one for the ages coming into Charlotte this week.
Oh, man, it's incredible, isn't it? It's been fun to watch the back and forth, but, for it to be this close going into the final weekend, I mean, who needs a chase format, right? I mean, these guys...
Yeah.
70-some races and come down to within a few points. That's awesome.
Brad, we talked to so many drivers. We've even had a conversation with Brad Sweet this year about, how much do you focus on the points? And every driver says, I just go out and race the race. But as a former driver yourself, it's got to be in the back of their minds, certainly going into this weekend.
Absolutely. And I've heard Donnie say that for years and years, and he has been very good about, and obviously it makes sense. If you win races, the points come with it. Now, Brad Sweet basically says almost word for word the same thing, but they're human beings. I mean, they have to be aware of where the other car is on the racetrack and what's going on. And, you do have to focus on your own team and what you're doing and not get lost or distracted, but you still have to be looking over your shoulder, I would think, when it's this close.
I would think so, too. I really would.
Yeah.
I was chatting with some fans at Kansas Speedway. I think it was Kansas Speedway, and we were there. We were coming back from a gathering, and over in the infield, I saw sprint cars on TV, and there was some fans with a motor coach, new friends from North Dakota. I hadn't met them before, and they said, "Well, who do you like for this championship?" And I'm a huge fan of new champions. So like my heart's like with Brad doing this.
Yep.
But when Tony Stewart Racing decided to take out the tried and true Chevy and drop the Ford engine, I am also a fan of big, for lack of a better phrase, ballsy moves. How big of a move was that to do an engine change at this point in the season, do you think, Brad?
Well, we televised that now for Mad TV, for CBS Sports. I'm sorry, the World of Outlaws, and I called it. I didn't say ballsy on TV. I said a bold move.
Yeah.
And that just, obviously Tony has been running the engine and actually won a couple races. Won $26,000 race. Rudine Foundation race with that engine, and so he ran a lot of laps with it, and they've been testing it, been working with it. But still, to be in this tight of a points battle, and for years at Williams Grove, Donnie Schatz couldn't be beat. Now I think 2015. Since it was prior to that he really dominated, and not that he struggled, but just didn't have the domination. He was back and running good, but to take that chance and to put in that engine at that racetrack with this points battle, it just shows. I mean, they're obviously worried about the points, but they want to win races, and that's why they're 10-time champions. They don't sit on their laurels, or they are always testing and trying new things and trying to get better and fine tuning what they have. But yeah, that was a ballsy move, I'll have to say.
It sure was, but have to know with Tony Stewart Racing that they felt confident. I mean, all the research and all, like you talked about, that they had done ahead of time. When we opened the show, Brad, Steve talked about one thing he loves about sprint car racing is sprint car racers just want to win races. And if they had to choose between the Knoxville Nationals or the Outlaw Championship, they would choose the Knoxville Nationals any day of the week. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want both, but to be greedy, you want to win all the big races and the championship. But I guess maybe because the Knoxville Nationals has been around so much longer and the history of it, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, being a champion, it takes a lot of work and it's prestigious, but there's just nothing like winning the biggest sprint car race in the world. To go down in history as a winner of that race is obviously important to most any sprint car driver.
Mm-hmm. It's fascinating stuff. It really, truly is to me. Brad, beyond the tremendous World of Outlaw point battle, and that's the headliner going into the World Finals and everything, but when we start to put a big old bow around the 2019 season, what are some other, maybe there's a driver, maybe there's a region, maybe there's a track, what are a couple other things that kind of stand out to you when we look back at 2019 as things you noticed?
Oh boy. Well, obviously, what Sweet's done this year with you look at the amount of wins, it's almost flip-flop from last year. Shot had the most wins, and now this year Sweet has. I don't know. I'm not saying that's surprising a lot of people, but boy, they've got their act together, and obviously they're battling for a championship. And what Erin Reitzel's done the last couple of years, with the All Stars and winning some World of Outlaws races. I mean, that's been. He's talented. Buddy Kofoid coming into Ohio and doing what you mentioned my column in Sprint Car Midget magazine. I just turned that in about some of the young drivers I've met and some who have come through Ohio and have done really well. And Christopher Bell being one and Kofoid and Macedo but what Buddy Kofoid did to come into Ohio and to win $10,000 race at Wayne County and the championship at Fremont, and was second in the Attica Fremont Sprint Challenge. He's got talent. I met him when he was 11 years old driving a full-size sprint car, and so he's got a lot of experience. But that was something that really opened my eyes this year.
Yeah, those are all solid ones. Brad, as we wrap up the season, one of the questions we always ask you about is your thoughts on the state of the sport. Steve and I are always talking about the big races, the big winners, the champions. We see a lot of the positive side, the big races, but oftentimes you remind us about the Saturday night tracks, the sponsorship struggles. What's your take on the state of sprint car racing right now?
Well, I'd love to say it's really in good shape, and 410 racing does still seem to be in good shape. California's got me a little worried. I mean, there seem to be less and less 410s out there, and the 360s are really starting to grow. And not that that's a bad thing, but the World of Outlaws need local 410 racing to fill their fields and when they go into a certain area. And so that's got me a little concerned. But it's back to anytime you try to cut costs, it seems like the owners and mechanics scream that it just costs them money, and I don't know what the answer is, and how you limit what somebody can spend, because you're always going to get outspent by somebody, and but it does seem like the All Stars, the Outlaws, have been great crowds, good car counts. There are some local tracks that are struggling on a weekly show, and maybe they have to look at a specials only. Some of the tracks that do that are thriving. So I really don't know, what to predict or what the future holds.
Yeah.
But right now, at least the traveling series, seem to be doing really well.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with your assessment on that. And listening to you talk about California sounds exactly like a conversation I had with Brent Kading back in March at Auto Club Speedway, and it is a concern out there. We just come off a great championship with a new champion with DJ Neto winning the championship off from there, but still they don't seem to be able to hang on to drivers and cars out there as much. So it is going to be interesting to see. But that sounds, like I said, listening to you talk sounds just like Brent talking out there as well. Well, Brad, I'll tell you, it's always a pleasure to hang out and catch up with you and get your analysis and your assessment of it. We appreciate your time. We'll of course keep following along with Sprint Car and Midget Magazine. Of course, you can also catch up with Brad on CBS Sportsline with the World of Outlaw coverage as they roll through the fall months and into the winter months as well. Brad, we appreciate the time. Thanks for your insight. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, well, thanks for having me. But real quick, who do you guys think is going to win the championship?
Oh boy!
Ooh.
Oh boy!
You go first.
I really have been to be the man, you got to beat the man kind of guy. We're in Charlotte. That's where Ric Flair is from. Woo! So no, yeah, I think Donnie Schatz is still going to be tough to handle here at Charlotte this week.
I know, and I want to see Brad win it. I've watched what Casey's done with that team from the beginning, but I got to say, it's going to be hard to beat Donnie here.
Yeah.
Well, especially when Donnie's won 13 races since they opened the track and since 2014.
Yeah.
Pretty much when Brad Sweet started running, Donnie has won 6 races at the dirt track, and Sweet hasn't won any. So, the odds are in favor of Schatz. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, and the point being so tight, Brad would have to follow him across the line to hang on to it at this point. So we'll see. The good part about it is that it's not going to be settled here on Wing Nation or anywhere else. It's going to be settled on the racetrack, and we'll be following along. Of course, we'll be here. I know you'll be following along on Dirt Vision as well. But Brad, as always, we do appreciate the time and the friendship, and we certainly wish you the best, man.
All right. Thanks for having me on, you guys.
There we go. Always great to hear from Brad Doty.
It is.
Man, just one of the really good guys. And just real. Keeps it real.
He is. He's great on social media. He keeps up with everybody in the sprint car world. He's just good people.
Absolutely. So great stuff and appreciate it. Again, you can catch Brad's work, Sprint Car and Midget Magazine, and on CBS Sportsline, they're doing Sunday night, I believe it's Sunday night World of Outlaw races right into the end of January. So we can get our racing fix.
I was going to say.
CBS Sportsline, I guess it is. That's the World of Outlaw package that they have. All right. Let's roll up our sleeves and get into this one. On the racetrack, it's the Can-Am World Finals this week, the dirt track at Charlotte. World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaw Morton Building Late Models, and the Super Dirt Car Series Modifieds. Thursday night, qualifying night for the Sprint Cars and Late Models. What they'll do is 2 sets of time trials.
Yep.
Okay? And in the Modifieds, 2 sets of heat races. One sets up Friday night, one sets up Saturday night. Saturday night's heats, prelim features, A-mains for the sprints and the late models. Last chance qualifiers and the A-mains for the modifieds. Again, the big story there. Donnie Schatz, Brad Sweet, only 8 points separating them. It is going to be awesome. Oh my gosh, I'm so jacked up about this. There are other sprint car races going on though. Okay, Capital Renegades URC sprint cars. They're wrapping up their season at Bridgeport. Did you ever run the big 5/8 mile?
I did. Yep, with the
This
Outlaws.
is the final weekend on the 5/8 mile track.
No, they ran the little track all year, right?
But they're doing the final one, and they're actually going to dismantle that.
Wow.
So it is the Big Track Classic, Friday and Saturday night for URC, 2 complete shows. What'll happen is the combined best driver for the 2 nights will win the Midge Miller Memorial Trophy, and the point battle will end. Also, Chad Layton has just under 100-point advantage over Josh Weller. So a lot on the line for URC this week at Bridgeport and the final run at that big 5/8 mile track. I've been there probably 5 or 6 times. Man,
it's fast.
That place will devour some engines, though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I hate to see, and they have a 3/8 mile and a 1/4 mile track that they're going to be racing. So Bridgeport's not going away. But boy, there's something about that. I don't like to see the big track go away, but I don't know that it makes sense racing on the big track either.
Yeah,
I'm not sure you can have it either way. USCS, the fall brawl at Talladega Short Track. Pete Walton. Pete's got probably 15, 18, 20, 25 more races left on his calendar this year for all we know.
If he doesn't, he'll add him.
He'll add him. Pete Walton, he's been running in January, and he'll be running just about into December with USCS and Terry Gray and Morgan Turpin and Danny Smith and the gang like that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be there all the time. That's good stuff at Talladega. Lucas Oil ASCS National Tour. We talked to Sam Hafertepe Jr. on Tuesday. They are wrapped up with their season. Southwest region still has 3 races left to go. This Saturday, Central Arizona Speedway, Queen Creek, Arizona, 3-way point battle. Colton Hardy, Jesse Baker, and JT Imperial all within 100 points. So that is Saturday night racing out in Queen Creek, Arizona. And the Top Gun sprints are at Henry County Motorsports Park on Saturday. Our HRP Racing upcoming calendar for Wing Nation, and we are loaded up with 3 big shows this week. Okay, Friday and Saturday, Dryden Wing Nation Race Day. From the stage, right across from the ticket window at 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
All the cars and all the stars are going to be there. Oh, it's going to be epic. It's going to be great. Good fun. And then Saturday morning, listen to this one. The NASCAR Hall of Fame. It is Dryden Wing Nation Legends Live. Ray Evernham, Hall of Fame class of 2018, NASCAR Hall of Fame. He is multiple times a 305 winner in sprint cars. He's still waiting for the nod to get into the Hall of Fame in Knoxville.
Yes, he is.
But he is in that
he's
NASCAR
waiting
Hall
for
of
it.
Fame.
Yeah.
He's
waiting for the nomination.
Waiting for the nomination. And then Tony Stewart will be inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame this January 2020. They're going to host. We're turning the reins of the program over to them.
I'm nervous.
Which is not a good move here. And they have got Bobby Allen, Billy Pouch, Dave Blaney, and others joining them on stage. It is going to be Dryden Wing Nation Legends Live from the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame opens at 10. This show's at 11. So come down, tour the Hall of Fame, get a look around, maybe hang around a little bit longer, tour the Hall of Fame, grab a bite to eat in Uptown Charlotte. Uptown Charlotte's great.
Yes,
and then head up to the Can-Am World Finals. So there you have it. And finally, our Saturday morning show on MAV TV. Brad Doty talked about him. We will have him for you.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Kofoid joins us. It is Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV, 7:30 and 10:30 in the morning. And you can catch Buddy Kofoid joining Ashley Strummy and I there on that program. We appreciate Brad Doty for joining us here on the program. But more important than all of that, we thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation
today. This has been the Wing Nation Podcast. Find Wing Nation on wingnation.com, Facebook, YouTube, or your favorite podcast provider. The Wing Nation Podcast is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.